What we're going to be talking about today is what we would call fast juicing. Fast as in speed, because when we looked at last Sabbath, we were studying slow juicing, or juicing with a juicer that slow masticates or slow chews. So today we're looking at the fast one, and you see this one's a little bit bigger. What's the big difference when it comes to slow juicing and fast juicing? One of the big differences is that this juicer you've got to plug up because it has a motor, and that's what makes it fast. Focus this way, John. Don't worry about what's going on out there. Somebody just had a box blow off the back of their car, and they're taking care of that. That's what John's looking at. So you've got a fast juicer that moves at speed. And so what we're going to do is make sure the juicer is turned off before we plug it in. I know, I'm going to show them that back in a second. And so let's talk about why we juice, all right? Why we're juicing. We are juicing because in the world that we live in, we have the power to be healthy. That's something you've got to know. Because see, right now, when people think about health, most people are coming from a place of fear, but we want to come from a place of faith. What are you going to say?
And this is also good for you because it's worse with masks. And if you are sick and you have a mask on and you compare it with other people around you, it's not going to make a better reason because they're going to keep the sickness in you and other people around you. And the mask is going to, especially for covering your nose.
Exactly.
And it's going to keep all the more sickness into your body.
Exactly. Good point. What she's saying, basically what I said was that if we do have things in our body and our body's trying to get them out, when we have on the mask, we're actually trapping them in. So we want to fight this battle, not from the outside in, but from the inside out. And the way we fight the battle inside is through immunity. We want to get foods into our body that strengthen our bodies by giving us not just vitamins, not just minerals, but even antibodies, antivirals, the things that help our body fight against disease. So an investment of about $100 to $150 can get you what we have here today, which is a Breville Fast Juicer. And we're going to just break this down before we use it so that you can know how you can use it as well. I took out some plastic bags here. These don't come with it. I'll explain to you in a moment why we use the plastic bags. But this is a Breville Fast Juicer, and we'll give you the model number and where you can buy it on below if you're watching this, so that if you can and if you're willing, this is probably going to be the juicer that we recommend. Now, you can go all the way up to $1,000 or more for a juicer, but this is something that's considered a mid to low range budget juicer, but it's very effective for what you want to do. Because of it, we're going to break it down and take off our top. What makes a juicer is always what you don't see, right? And it's kind of like that with a blender and other stuff. And sometimes it's like that with a car. What makes that thing special is what you don't see, and that's the motor. Inside of our juicer is our motor. This is the main engine that drives the juicer. Inside of here, what spins this wheel, which spins these blades. So a higher powered motor is going to be a more effective juicer and a more efficient juicer. So usually the bigger, the better. And sometimes it costs a little bit more because you're really paying for that motor. But you can still get good juice without spending a whole lot on the motor. It's kind of like spending a whole lot on the car. You don't have to spend a lot on a car to get a good car. With this motor with Breville, it's been really dependable. We've never had any kind of issues with it because this is the actual blade. I want to hold that up so that they can see. This is the blade that's going to be fast juicing, or not slow masticating, but really quickly chewing up the food. But what makes this juicer special is that it's a centrifugal juicer. This is a circle, so it's going to spin. So what happens with a juicer is that the blades hit the juice, or rather hit the vegetable or hit the fruit, and this spins so fast that what it does is it casts the juice through this strainer into this that allows the juicer to fall out. Then on the other hand, while it's throwing up the pulp or the fiber, it's casting it into this bin here, right? So that's how a basic juicer is going to work, no matter how much it costs or doesn't cost. So we're going to put our juicer together here, have you hold the blade. We've got our motor here, which is our base. This is where the juice is going to be gathered. It's thrown into this cylinder, and then it pours out of our opening or the hole here. So we're going to go ahead and mount that right there. Now, inside of the cylinder, we've got to put our blade. Inside, very, very sharp kind of fingernail, kind of even smaller than fingernail blades. Think about how, if you've ever seen the at the rental car at the airport, how it has those blades that stick up out of the ground so that you don't leave the airport and they punch up like that. That's what you have here. It's these blades that are punching up. So as it chews up and separates the juice from the pulp, it's got to be very sharp. And that's why those blades are there. So we're going to put our blade inside of the cylinder. Now, on top of that, this is where we have the thing that separates. The things like fiber and the solids are going to get cast out of here, while the juice is going to fall out there. So we're going to go ahead and lock this on place, but we need to catch our fiber or our pulp in our bin there. Now, if everything is put on right, it should settle on pretty simply and snugly. So I haven't locked it yet, but I'm secure now. Once it's secure, I'm gonna go ahead and use this metal lever. That's what's gonna lock it in place. So now it's truly intact. In the back, we've got our bin. In the front is where we collect our juice. And this is the tamper that goes into the top to push the vegetables, to push the fruit down. So since we haven't put anything in, we're not, now you get it. That's why we didn't put that on there yet. Okay. So I'm going to move this to the side, and that's our juicer. It's plugged in. It has two speeds. It has high speeds and low speeds. So certain vegetables you want to spin at high speed, others you want to spin at low. Those who tend to be harder to grind up, like a slow, what am I trying to say? Like with spinach, or when we were doing last week, we were doing the wheatgrass. If you don't have a masticating or slow masticating juice, you sit at a low setting. And so if you don't have one of these, $20, we'll put the link on there below too, so you can grab that. And you don't have a slow juicer, you can turn it on low. So most of the juices we're going to do on high. But here's the thing. When you're doing a fast juicer, this gets hot. And that is a disadvantage of a fast juicer. Even though it's faster, and you can sometimes get more juice out of certain vegetables and fruits, because it gets warm in there, you do kill off some of those enzymes. If you're running it a long time, we're talking about minutes, like 1, 2, and 3 minutes. So with that said, that is a disadvantage, but it's still better than not eating or drinking them at all. So just be aware of that, but don't let it stop you. That's how you use your slow and fast juicers together. Now, let's get our celery ready here. These are plastic bags. The reason why I had these is because if you want to, you can actually put these in the bin so that when you've done juicing and you've got the fiber here, you can just simply take the bag out, ball it up, throw it in the trash, or add it to your compost heap and recycle the bag. So this is just a tip. We're not going to do that today since I already locked this down, but that's something you can also use when you're juicing to collect things. Now let's get our celery ready. Can you hold up our celery? We have a regular head of celery here. They had about maybe 4 or 5 stalks on here left because we've used some of it. But when you're prepping your celery for juicing, usually 1 stalk to 2 is good per person. So just kind of, average it out then if you're trying to make it for more than 1 people. We're going to use all of these, all right? So if you're going to use all of them, again, 1 to 2 per person if you're juicing with other juices, we're going to make all of them. What you want to do is you want to clean it. But the easiest way to clean it, there's 2 ways to do that. You can break off 1 stalk. I'm going to ask you to hold that up, Jael. And normally your dirt or whatever, or grass or dust is going to collect in here. And that's where you want to cut off and rinse. So what we're going to do, we're going to lay it down. We're going to cut this off. So I've cut off the rounded part. And if you use this, there's nothing wrong with it. You can rinse this out and use it too. As a matter of fact, that's what we'll do for the rest of these. But just to show you, we all have different sensibilities. This is where you are. Now I'm going to ask you to go rinse that off. So Giles going to step over there and rinse out. And when you're rinsing it, you just want to run it down the channel. And again, most pieces of celery are not going to be that dirty. But if they are, this is where the dust and dirt is going to collect. So to make it simple, if you're doing the whole stalk, we're just going to go ahead and cut off the end of our stalk here. This is perfect for compost. You can put it out there. You want to have a composting pile, use it for gardening or something else. Or if you want to juice this part as well, all you really need to do is cut off the tippy tip end. And now we're just down to the white fibers in here. And there's no dirt down here because it's so well put together. The dirt can't even get down in there. So we got a couple of ways that you can prep your celery. So I'm going to have you rinse these bottoms out for us, Jai. While Jael is rinsing all those out, this is actually some leaf that fell down there inside, or I should say fell down, roof, but it didn't mature. This is kind of the baby, but we don't need that because it's too small to juice. All right. So you really want to wash off your bottoms. It really doesn't get that dirty on the top. All right, good. Here we go. Let's switch that out. Next one. Now, one thing I'm going to show you too, when you're washing in all your vegetables, you want to try and point downward because we want the dirt to run away.
Oh.
We don't want the dirt to run back up where it's clean. So we're pushing the water down in the end. And if I want to go, now I can rinse it through, but I've washed all my dirt away. Now you do these last two, okay? So now when we're juicing, we've gotten rid of our tip, the very end. I'm going to throw these away. And now we're going to go ahead and juice the actual stalk. And when we're juicing the stalk, we're juicing everything, the stem all the way down nearly to the bottom of the stalk. Good job. Good job. All right. So now we've got them all rinsed off. And we're going to let these rest here. And when it comes to cutting, you don't have to cut anything. Because of celery, the way the Lord designed it, these are really just long water tubes. Kind of think of like a swim noodle. When you go swimming, you get on the swim noodle, but it's not a swim noodle. There's channels that run through the celery that store a lot of water. But the thing about this water is that it also includes all the vitamins, the minerals, the chlorophyll that are in these stalks. So this is not a video about the benefits of celery juice. You can look at a bunch of videos for there. Our focus today in Chain Shell is to show you how to turn it into juice. And this juice is great for body strength, body health, and just body blessing. So let's bless our bodies now. And we're going to turn this thing on. So we're going to take this, I'm going to put this to the side. And Jael, get ready. And we're going to put our stalks in. We're going to turn this so everybody at home can see. And this is where we're going to collect our juice. It's going to get loud, but remember, it's loud because of that motor, right? So we're going to turn on our motor. When we are turned on, John, I'm going to ask you to take the stalk. We're going to put it here just like this, and we're going to take our tamper, and we're just going to push it down. And you're going to see the juice come out here, and we're going to collect the pulp over here. If everything works, this is how we should go. All right? So let me move this back just a little bit for you so you can get a good position. All right, you're good. I'm good. Ready? Here we go. Countdown. 3, 2, 1. Countdown.
3, 2, 1.
All right, I'm going to turn it to high. Now, you don't use your hand. Never use your hand. Use the tamper. Now, because this motor is so strong, the juice will actually pretty much take care of it all on its own. So one stalk, that gives us about 1/4 of a cup, maybe a half, but more likely 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup. All right, so let's get all of these in. So we're going to put them in 3 or 4 at a time, and we're going to tamp it down. We got our juice coming out here. The pulp is going back there. All right, here we go. Last one. We're putting in our stalks. Leaves down. All right. Let's get this last white part. This is hard. Can the juicer handle it? Oh, yeah. Go ahead and drop it in. All right, and we're going to go ahead. And now we're off. Now, one of the things, how was that? Is that pretty cool?
That's really cool. It did that much.
It did that much. How long do you think that took?
5 minutes.
Not quite 5 minutes. That was about a minute or less. And that's the thing with juicing, especially with a high-powered juicer. I know there's some people who have different philosophies, but again, we're trying to minimize the enzyme damage. You want to try and juice as fast as you can and drink as soon as you can, because I want all those living enzymes in here. And that's what we're about to do right now. One of the cool things with the Breville Juicer is that this is our juice. It's a pretty bright green. Just going to show you where our pulp has collected. Now in here, this is where we have that shield to protect. And we're going to try and get a shot to show you the actual pulp. Matter of fact, let's just do this. We'll put this right out here. Make sure everybody can see. All right. So here's our pulp, the actual fiber.
It looks like the other one, but just light and crushed up.
It's light, exactly. Now we do have one piece that got away from us. So that's why we want to use the tamper rather than just trying to push that thing down. But that's okay. Other than that, this is all dry. And that's good. I'm squeezing it now as hard as I can. No liquid coming out. You don't want any liquid coming out because that means it did not get juiced here. And so that's why you want a quality motor.
Like broccoli.
It's almost like broccoli. Yep. And there's a bunch of stuff. In fact, we'll actually show you how you can use your pulp later on. We use our pulp. We make burgers with it. You can make hot dogs with it. You can make sausage with it. You can make real vegetarian meat, as opposed to vegetable. There's not vegetable meat, all right? That wouldn't work. But this is how you can actually recycle this, not only for compost, you can make other dishes with it, breads, but we're not going to do that today. Today, we're going to try some, yes, we're going to drink it. We'll try some celery juice. I like to make a habit too, when I'm done juicing, we unplug it, just in case when you got little ones around, you don't want anybody tripping a switch. It's not going to work unless this lever is activated. So you don't have to worry about the blade going crazy and cutting your finger, but just to be on the safe side. All right. So Jael's going to try and pour it. Let me show him something cool about this pourer. This pourer is not just a pitcher, but it actually has a lip here on the inside that will hold back the pulp and fiber. So you're just getting the juice out of here. So this is another benefit to having the this really cool pitcher that goes along with it. Slowly pouring it out good. So that way we're getting just juice. We don't want a bunch of froth. Nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's a bunch of air inside of the bubbles, and we don't want to drink air. We want to drink juice. All right. So Jael's going to be our first taster. She's going to take a sip. You didn't say you weren't going to drink this time, but she's going to take a sip, and I'm going to take some as well. Then let you know how it tastes. Celery juice. Honest opinion from a 7-year-old. Go for it. Oh, straw. Mommy is saying to get a straw, so let's get a straw. Get a straw for the baby. Get a straw for the baby. I was like, all right, here's a straw for the big girl. All right. How's it taste, Jai? Oh, they can't hear that. What? Drink it. What do you say?
That tastes really good.
Really? What does it taste like?
It's bitter and sweet.
It's bitter and sweet. Mommy said it tastes like celery. That's great. That's great. That's like a great Food Network description. What are you tasting? Celery. I think that's why the best description.
Isn't it good?
It tastes like celery tastes if you were cooking it. It's not a great taste. It's not like, wow, let me get a gallon of that. But it's not bad. It's very mild. It doesn't have any burn. There's no bitterness to it. It's not a bitter taste. It's great. So this is a great compliment if you're adding like a carrot juice. We're going to make some other juices in the future, like a carrot, beet, celery, apple. Those like your basic core juice. But just making celery juice, all the benefits of it, this is definitely worth it. We're going to save some for Mommy.
And for Faith.
And for Faith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I may not be able to hold back. Let me stop because I'll drink that whole thing up. That is really good juice. It's not bitter. It's slightly sweet, which is great because it's on the other end of the spectrum where it's sweet, but it's still green. A lot of juices that taste sweet, they tend to get away from being green. So you're going to go into apples and carrots. Those are like your two biggest sweet, but they're not green. This is a green juice that's not bitter. Kale, that is bitter. Others like spinach, it has a tint of a bland flavor. This one is slightly sweet.
Spinach doesn't have a taste.
Oh, spinach has a taste, or else we wouldn't eat it, right? So this is our celery juice, and this is an example of a fast juicer. This is the Breville, and we're going to put the model description below. We'll put a link for you below where if you feel impressed, you want to take your health up to another level, juicing is a way to do that because you're not only taking up your health, but you're also boosting your immunity. Better than any mask that you could wear. Better than just standing 6 feet apart. You want to get this inside of your body. And the Lord has promised, he gave us every herb-bearing seed, not just for our enjoyment, but he said, I'll give it to you for your healing. This is a way to go. You enjoy that? You like this?
Yes.
That was fun. That was
That
cool.
was good.
No, it was really well. If you can say that, Jael, that means a whole lot. And I hope everybody is blessed by it. So that was fun.